Hey, I'm Jeremy from Ace Automotive Performance. We're going to show you today how to install this back light on the GT3RS. It was an option. It replaces just the black plastic with a functional light underneath it. We've got this other side already tore apart, but we're going to do step by step on the driver's side and show you guys how to do it. On the passenger side, we've already got it tore apart over here. We have removed the inner fender wells. We removed the old light. Here's what it looks like, the old light, or the old piece without the light. So we removed this side piece, removed this, and now we're in the process of wiring it, which we'll show you how we wire it. We're basically getting rid of this light in the front, and you can choose to paint match it. You can choose to leave it in there, or there is a bumper replacement that takes this light out of the bumper. So we're going to do kind of a time-lapse thing on the other side. We've removed the wheel, and when we put the wheel back on, we'll even go through the steps on how to torque the GT3RS wheels and all of that. So we'll start by removing the fender liner. We'll remove this side piece, this side wing, and go from there. The marker light has a little plug on here. We just disconnected that, and then it has a little clip up here in the front that we're going to push in and then push the marker light out and then slide it forward, and that comes out of this tab right there. Now we have the marker light out. Now this is actually two pieces. You'll see on the other light when we show you. You can either use a little pry tool on here, or I like to actually use my fingers just because it doesn't mar the plastic at all. It's a little tougher with your fingers. You can actually push forward and just kind of lift up a little bit, and it pops it up. We're going to pop it up on both sides. This is pretty flexible, so you can kind of move it around and things if you need to. There is a bolt on the back side of this that makes this much easier and much more workable. And then it pops out of there. And this is pretty flexible as well if you need it. So we work this out of there. Once you get it worked out of there, it'll slide right out of there. So we can set that aside. And then there's two pins on the back side of here. I'll let you get the camera in there, and then I'll show you how to pull those out. So they're actually threaded, and what we do is get some little screws, and we're gonna thread those screws in there. Always start them by hand. Be very careful not to touch the paint. And thread them in there. And that pin will either come out by hand, which that one did, or sometimes you got to just take a pair of pliers on the screw, little needle nose pliers. Start in the second one. That one came out by hand too. So now we'll be able to remove that wing. Let's set that aside. Put our pins in our tray. Now here's where this gets tricky. We're gonna find a flathead screwdriver. We'll come back to that in 1 second. All right, so you're gonna get a little pick in right here, and you're gonna push this to the side, release it, and then that thing's gonna slide right out of there. And it's hooked right on this. So you slide your pick in there, get it around, and then push that to the side, and this will release and pull out of there. Right here is that little clip. Right there. You're gonna push that to the side, and then that'll release that in there. So now we're gonna go grab our light. We're gonna run our wire through here, nice and gentle. Find the slot to push it into, and lock that in place. Now this light will light up once we get it wired. We're gonna wire it all the way from here, behind back here, through here. We're gonna tie into these wires and bring it over across and wire it right to this light that used to be the front light right here. So we'll show you guys how to run those wires and show you all that in a second here. All right, we're back. We've got the passenger side is done. We're gonna kind of show you what we did on the wiring here. We tuck all of our wiring up nice and tight, so this is the wire that we used. We spliced into that, soldered it all, shrink wrapped it all, ran this wire up through the original wire harness, followed it up through here, up over top of the shock, and then came right back down into here, tying it nice and close together, and then back down into the light here. So we've got our light installed, we've got the wiring done. I'll turn the ignition on real quick and you'll see what that light looks like, and then we'll show you a couple intricate stuff to put this back together, and then we'll go back to time lapse and show you how the inner fender and all this stuff goes back together again. So let me turn the ignition on real quick. So as you can see, that light looks really, really cool. It'll look really good once we get the wing and everything else on. So I'll show you how to put the wing back on, and then we'll slide this marker light back in here. So take the marker light, you'll slide this tab right in here. Then it'll just snap right in there. Done deal. We're gonna leave our marker light just like this, the OEM style. It's just not gonna illuminate anymore. Then we'll go on to the wing. So it's got this little slot to slide into. Slide that into here. Then we'll grab our pins. We'll install these pins like so. Back in the back, just push them in. They should just push right in there. That one didn't want to go all the way in, so we'll take and we'll just barely thread it in there. Then we'll kind of work it in there. Good, there it goes. It's seated in there now. Put our screw in the next pin. Work that one into the plastic until it's all the way seated in there. We'll unscrew that. We'll get our trim piece that goes in here, and that'll show you kind of the finalized look. Slide this in there. Sometimes this can kind of be a little difficult to slide up underneath there, but it's everything, like I said before, everything's pretty flexible, so you're not probably going to hurt anything. There we go. So, and that'll click over there, and then we'll click it over to, actually we need to go on the, I believe you need to do the back side first. Click the back side in, click your front side in, and that's the complete light. If you want to pan back here and show that light with the cover and everything installed, much nicer look on the marker lights. So now we'll switch back to time lapse and we'll show you how to put all of the inner fender and everything else back together and get everything going again. All right, we're back here with the Porsche GT3RS. We're gonna do one small video. It may turn into a short, but this is the end of this whole installing the light process. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna show you guys how to torque these center lock lug nuts. So this thing, you'll hear it ratcheting. Make sure you've got it started good. You're just gonna turn it in by hand. Make a note, you put a bunch of you can get it through Porsche, it's Porsche anti-seize on the threads and on the mating surface on these. You want plenty of, just smear it all over the place on these. So we're gonna start it by hand. This one just has delivery miles on it. This is a brand new car. So we've got plenty of torque, we've got plenty of Loctite on it. So we've got it started by hand. We're gonna run over here and do the driver's side. Same process, I kind of already started this one. Now we're gonna lower it down. And we may need somebody to push the brakes. I don't know yet if this thing's gonna try to roll away on us. Should be in park, but. Now the GT3RS, there may be a different torque spec for some of the other Porsches, but it gets torqued to 600 Newton meters. So what that converts to in foot pounds is 450 foot pounds. So we're gonna get our torque wrench set up right there, 450 foot pounds. We're going to grab the socket. Oh yeah, we're moving. Let me grab somebody. All right, we're back. Now that we got somebody to hold the brakes, let's see if we can get this to 600 Newton meters right there. Now with the process that we're doing, we're gonna grab our breaker bar and we're gonna roll this back 90 degrees. So it's almost parallel. We're just gonna come back 90 degrees. Grab our torque wrench again. So it clicks. There we go. Now you're torqued. What that does is it'll seat that wheel into there, and then you back it off that 90 degrees and set it again so it seats it, so it does a final torque on it. So that's how we're gonna torque the wheels on this Porsche, and that's the end of the video.